I'm Inez.
And I'm Morena.
And this is our Unit 3 video on the Republican motherhood. The question we will be answering is, what is Republican motherhood and how did it shape American culture? The definition. Republican motherhood is the idea of a woman's place in society during the Revolution era. Their main role was to uphold Republican values and teach these values to their sons who could use them while voting and know their place in society. The picture on the left shows a mother teaching her son, and the picture on the right shows a women getting educated in order to pass the values down to their sons. How it shaped American culture. It increased women's educational opportunities. It continued patriotic values down generationally. And women's role in the abolition movement in the 19th century were increased. This is Elizabeth Margaret Chandler, an abolitionist poet. How'd it started? After involvement in the revolution, women wanted more of a role in politics. Instead of granting them power, important men in the revolution put emphasis on them as mothers and wives in society. This translated into them teaching the ideals and values of the Republic to their sons so they could vote and be involved in politics.
Important figureheads. There were many important figureheads during this time period, such as Abigail Adams. Abigail Adams was the wife of John Adams, a former U.S. president who helped write the laws at the First Congressional Congress. She was an early advocate for the Republican motherhood and the women's rights movement. She wrote a letter to John Adams pleading with him and asking him to think of the women, the role they play, and the rights they deserve when writing the Constitution. Sadly, however, it was an unsuccessful attempt. Another important figurehead was Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She was the leader of the women's rights movement. She studied law with her father and became determined to gain equal rights for women. And she began the first united attempt for women's suffrage in the United States in 1848, which is what the motherhood led to. Another important figurehead was Mary Wollstonecraft. Mary Wollstonecraft argued for the education of women and expressed that a woman's education was critical when raising children because the mother was teaching them, so she had to be educated in the ways of patriotism. In addition, there was Benjamin Rush. He had similar opinions to Wollstonecraft, and he believed that if women were to educate the new generation of men and voters, that they needed to be educated. He also founded the Young Ladies Academy of Philadelphia. Changes for women. There are many important changes for women during this time period, such as women can now pursue an education.
Yay!
Woo! Super exciting. And the motherhood lay the building blocks for the women's suffrage movement in the future. And also, once women were educated, they realized how unjust the laws were, and many women rose up against the men restricting them and demanding equal rights. And the picture on the right is a picture from the women's suffrage movement and the women demanding votes. Thanks for watching.
watching.
Woo!